The lawyer cleared his throat. My aunt smiled like she had already won. "We already divided everything," she said, folding her hands on the polished oak table. "You weren't invited for a reason." The room smelled like old paper and cheap cologne. Probate offices always do. Places where people come to pretend grief is paperwork. The lawyer frowned. He looked down again, then up at me. "But her name," he said slowly, carefully, "is the only one in the will." Silence didn't fall. It suffocated. I didn't react. That's what surprised them. No gasp, no widening eyes. I had learned a long time ago that reactions are currency. I don't give mine away for free. My aunt's smile cracked, not shattered. Just enough. "That's impossible," she said. The lawyer slid the document forward. Thick, official, final. I stared at my name, typed cleanly, precisely. Like my mother had written it with intent. I felt something cold move behind my ribs. Not joy, not relief, recognition. Because this wasn't about money. It never is. It's about why people lie so well. And for so long, I hadn't been invited to the reading because they thought I was already erased. Because they thought I didn't know. Because they believed silence meant ignorance. They were wrong. 2 weeks earlier, my phone rang at 2:17 a.m. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Almost. "Don't come to the funeral," a woman whispered. Not my aunt, not anyone I recognized. Then the line went dead. No explanation, no threat. Just a warning dressed as mercy. I sat in the dark long after the call ended, replaying her voice. Controlled, nervous, practiced, like someone who had rehearsed this moment in the mirror. That's when the old memories started resurfacing. The ones I had filed away because they were inconvenient. My aunt's sudden interest in my mother's finances, the way she moved into the house to help during the illness. The legal documents, I was told, were too complicated for me to worry about. And the strangest part, how calm everyone was when my mother died. No chaos, no confusion, just efficiency. I went to the funeral anyway, stood in the back, watched people grieve in turns, like a schedule. My aunt never looked at me, not once. That told me everything. People avoid what they're afraid of being seen by. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't ask questions. I did something better. I listened. I watched who whispered, who flinched, who corrected themselves mid-sentence. I requested copies of medical records under the guise of closure. I pulled phone logs from an old shared plan no one remembered existed. I read legal terminology, late into the night, until it stopped looking like language and started looking like strategy. Patterns don't lie. People do. By the time the lawyer called me in for the will reading, I already knew something was buried. I just didn't know how deep. Back in the office, my aunt's nails tapped once against the table. "Someone made a mistake," she said. I finally spoke. "No," I said quietly. "Someone planned." Her eyes met mine for the first time. And for just a second, she knew. My aunt's lawyer started talking again, but I wasn't listening. I was watching her throat, the way it moved when she swallowed, the way her confidence leaked out through small, involuntary gestures. People think fear is loud. It isn't. Fear is precise. It edits itself. "There must be an error," she said again, softer this time. "She wouldn't." "She did," the lawyer interrupted. "Firm, final." He turned to me. "Your mother updated the will 6 months before her passing. She was very clear." Clear. That word echoed. 6 months. That was when my aunt moved into the house, when my mother's medication started changing, when documents went missing and reappeared with new signatures. I reached into my bag and placed a folder on the table. Not aggressively, not dramatically, carefully. "I know," I said, "about the forged power of attorney." Her head snapped up. I continued, calm. "The phone calls to your accountant. The medication schedule you altered. The witness you paid who didn't realize hospital security cameras keep audio." The lawyer froze. My aunt didn't cry. "Not yet." She laughed once. "Too sharp. You're imagining things." "No," I said. "I imagine nothing." I verified. I slid another document forward. A handwriting analysis. A bank trail. A medical report flagged by a nurse who couldn't forget my mother's fear the night before she died. I didn't come here to fight, I said. I came to watch you lose. The room felt smaller, like the walls were leaning in. You think this makes you powerful? She whispered. You think money? I don't want the money, I said. That was when she broke. Her face collapsed inward, like a structure finally realizing it had no support. She reached for the lawyer. For me, for anything solid. She promised me, she said, voice unraveling. She said you wouldn't care, that you were already gone. I stood. That was my final move. I was gone, I said. That's why you felt safe. I walked out before she could beg, before the lawyer could say another word, before the truth finished destroying her in public. Outside, the air was sharp, honest. I didn't feel victorious. I felt clean. Some betrayals don't deserve rage. They deserve exposure. Light is crueler than anger. It leaves nothing to hide behind. My mother had known. That was the real inheritance. Not the house, not the accounts, the truth. She had trusted me with it, by leaving everything where it would hurt the right person most. I never saw my aunt again. I heard things, lawsuits, investigations, quiet disgrace. None of it mattered. What mattered was this. She thought I was weak because I stayed silent. She never realized silence was me thinking, and by the time she heard my voice, it was already over.